Okay, so we continue the topic of business transaction with Django นะครับ However if you come to see we're gonna start with the use case number 5 and then we're gonna go back to use case number 1, 2, 3, 4. So however before I start I want to we gonna have the deep explanation on the views and then the model later on, but I want to show you the view first before we go to that one นะครับ so in this view what you support to do is we support to have we support to have some business transaction that we gonna do it, but if you're gonna see something like the code in the views in the views I go to views in the view so before we update this one I gonna tell you we need when we update the view we need to update the URL together นะครับ so when we set register account นะครับ so please see when we do the register account please listen carefully we need to input the account name account type and the remarks นะครับ you may wonder that we miss something or not we supposed to have account ID you see we go back to see we need to have account ID but why we put name type and remark because the account ID is automatically generated but we will not use the database to generate it. We're going to use the application to generate it นะฮะ so how can we do นะครับ at first we create a new account first by using the object name account นะครับ in here right so we get the input from REST API นะครับ account name account remark and then we create new account and then before we do we need to have the last account first this means the last account that we gonna have it in the in 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 the system right so in the last account we use the for loop นะครับ the for loop right so loop until the last account นะครับ ordered by account ID so the last account name is gonna be X นะครับ something like that so in the I mean no I mean the X is mean the for loop right so it's gonna go to the last account so the account number is in the last account ID but we need to get rid of MSME because when you see the node นะครับ the node that we not the node I'm sorry when we need to do นะครับ we need to do this one using admin right so we the wallet starting with the resume or MSME and the 00000 until number 1 right but the MSME is not a number right so we need to get rid of the number here so it's going to become something like here นะครับ right we get rid of MSME first and then we're gonna get 00000 นะครับ so suppose the last one is number 2 right so we're gonna get 0002 and then we plus 1 so it's gonna become 00003 นะครับI'm sorry they will not have 0 because we use the int if we use the int no matter how many zero in front they're gonna get rid of it and then you're gonna have number 1 2 3 something like this so we plus 1 นะครับ we do the plus 1 so if you have number 2 in the system it's going to become number 3 right and then after that we put the number 3 for 07 นะครับ something like this that 07 and then uh, and then putting the number right actually is the word 07 here is mean we have the 7 digit นะครับ so suppose the last number is MSME 00002 right นะครับ the last number is this one นะครับ so number 2 so this code will change it to 2 and then plus 1 become 3 and then we're gonna put MSME followed by 00000 and then become number 3 นะครับ so they're gonna have 7 digit right so it means they're gonna have 6 zero and number 3นะครับ so it's gonna have the number something like support the last number is the this number like 02 so the new one นะครับ the new one gonna be MSFE 00003นะครับ right away so this one is the the logic in here นะครับ so after we have that number so we put that number into the new account so you see this one is perfectly Python object right this one is straightforward you may wonder that hey why we did not need to use the encapsulation right but like I told you sometimes when we work we didn't need to follow theory one by one. Right? I mean, this is the Python. Python is interpreter. But if you do another model like Java MVC, this one is perfectly not allowed. In Java MVC, everything must be set and get object. Okay, so we put the ID back, we put the account name back, account type, and then link back. After we have 1, 2, 3, 4 component, and then we set, and then we return success. This is the way we do the for the register, right? And after we have register, we gonna do the transfer. I gonna explain the transfer later. However, at this moment, we need to have these two forms, so we do the register account and the transfer, I gonna explain the transfer later. So we stop engine here, and then we put the views, views in here. You're gonna know that they have some error here because we haven't do the header, right? I mean, we haven't declare the stuff, so we need to have something like the Django, and then import something like this. So we're gonna just do it here. The model why we need to have Q a little bit wonder, but maybe I copy all of this one first. Okay, so here we need to declare we need to declare the model account transfer. Oh, the import queue maybe it's this for all lessons, so maybe I just delete it. We didn't need to use, and then we go down. Okay, perfect. For you need to see the red color, so it's work. So, but it's not gonna work because I mean in the view it's work, but we have to have URLs in order to point, right? We didn't have the pointer point from the REST API to the views method. So I go to this one and see URLs. So you see, if you create this one from the scratch, you need to have URL and that match to the view, right? So it means the longer you do the view, the longer you're gonna have in URL pattern. In URL.py, URLs.py. You see, so when we say register, they got do the transfer register. Okay, but before we run, we need to follow the instruction. So what is the instruction we do in the case number 5? What is this? Okay, so we create the account using the admin. Why we need to create using admin? Because these two of them is not related to step, is for accounting reason. So system reserve is mean the equity, right? Is mean the owner. The owner of the system is the system reserve itself, and then cash and in hand is the asset, and then we have no remark, something like this. So in the beginning, we will not put the money first, we will not put the money first, or we will not register first. We need to create the system by hand, So I go to run this one. Okay, and go to admin, I can refresh, and then I create two account by hand. So I click add account. The account ID, account ID is MSME 000000001 account ID, and then account name is system reserve, system reserve, system reserve, and the account type is equity, and then the remark is no, we will not have remark, and then the rest of them we just leave it, and then we add another one, and then it's gonna be an SME 00. This one 02 account name is cash in hand. Cash in hand. I use the hash. The hash should be big one, cash in hand. And then cash in hand is the asset. Is the asset. And then the remark is no. Okay. So at this moment we have two account that we created manually นะครับ we create it manually so we're gonna put the money but money is transfer right so it means in the beginning when you run the business you cannot hope that hey man that our customer gonna come and then we give the money no you cannot you need to put the cash in the system or in the drawer of the admin officer first right because you may need to pay นะครับfor some reason so you need to deposit the money to let's say transfer the money นะครับ our owner put the money to the system but what we gonna do is we need to do transfer so I think it is a good idea for me to explain the transfer to you first นะครับ so we have the source code already but I think maybe I explain to you in the GitHub is better นะครับ so we go to view and then see the transfer นะครับ the transfer is like transfer in accounting system you need to have from one account and then two account นะครับ so we need to have the account name that is the account ID นะครับ account ID we need to use account ID because if you use account name sometimes the account name is similar right so we should not use that นะครับ and then we gonna have amount and then the remark นะครับ so you may wonder that we need to put the money into two sides right I mean if you study accounting you need to do credit and debit นะครับ but for some reason we just in our we didn't do the ERP here like we're gonna do the wallet app so we just put the money just like one file for both sides นะครับ so we will not have something like debit 5,000 and then credit 1,000 2,000 2,000 นะครับ and all together 5,000 maybe that one is a little bit too much นะครับ I mean it's beyond the scope นะครับ so we do the transfer one by one นะครับ so when we do exactly the same thing นะครับ new transfer equal to transfer นะครับ equal to last transfer นะครับ however one thing that is different นะครับ so I use the NLB like the prefix right one thing that is different between transfer and register account is that in the account register your guys supposed to have the initial account because the last account we're gonna pass one line but when you do the transfer นะครับ transfer money it's possible that you are the first one you did not have any people transfer before you, right? So we like the logic นะครับ the same thing for the ID is that if we go to the last transfer and then the last transfer is not exit, right? I mean we did not have the transfer account at all นะครับ if we did not have it the transfer number equal to 1 right away but if we have the transfer object what we gonna do is mean we gonna do the get the prefix out right non-land bank and then put to the in and then plus one นะครับ and then at the end we put the prefix back and then use the eight digit right so you're gonna have if you say number one you're gonna have 70 in front นะครับ so this one is a different นะครับ in the account every system must have initial account by hand นะครับ you are not allowed to register new account the first one but for the transfer we use this technique นะครับ we use this one is like exit is like the method right so like you learn like in encapsulation and then the polymorphism นะครับ actually it's not polymorph it just have only one way to use okay so now after that we get the transfer ID right transfer ID account form account two and then the amount we gonna convert it to float and then have the remind set and then return success นะครับ something like that okay so that is the way to do okay so we going to here นะครับ and then we run okay so right now we have นะครับ we have the account already นะครับ so we going to uh, the this one and we create a new web browser นะฮะ so we have this one I put it in the node นะครับ I put this one in the node in here um, okay นะครับ in the node นะฮะ so in the after midterm node นะฮะ and then we have the transfer right so we copy this code to the notepad นะครับ so we put the money นะฮะto the amount นะครับ to 5,000 บาทนะครับ so we use the if you remember right the REST API right transfer นะครับ and then the argument to account นะครับ to the account and then another one from account and then amount and then the remark นะครับ all of this one gonna go to the source code นะครับhere you see เนี่ย to go to the source code because we do it in the request already. Okay, 1, 2, 3, so that we come and then put it. And then when you press enter, there's support to return success นะครับ you can see the plenty นะครับ success and then when you come back to see the accounting นะครับ and then you're gonna see it in transfer นะครับ okay so it's been right now our system have 5,000 baht initially นะครับ so this one is the use case number 5